So a verb is like look, and I can say, I was looking at the TV. I hang that ing on it, and we refer to it as a gerund. Any verb that I hung this ing on.
Okay, so when diagramming sentences with gerunds, the gerund is written on a line, and the object of the gerund, if there is one, is written after it. And I'll come back to that in just a second. But for diagramming purposes, it's written on a curve around a right angle of a line. And then since gerunds can be any parts of a speech, this diagramming is placed in that part of speech.
Wait a minute, you confuse me.
Okay.
Gerund, which is just a verb, can be any part of speech?
Yes, because it's being utilized as a noun.
Oh, so they took verbs, they hang this ing on them, and now the little bastards are nouns. You with me on this?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so sleeping should be an act, right? This person is sleeping. His claim is sleeping is now a noun that I can put anywhere in the sentence. No wonder English sucks. It's just the first sentence. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so in this example, sleeping is not allowed at slumber parties. So sleeping is your gerund, so you write it as such. And then is allowed, then not down here, and then at slumber parties.
So my verb is now at the front of my sentence because it's a gerund used as a noun. Go ahead.
Second one, playing the piano has kept grandma's fingers limber. So in this one, it has a direct object. So you have playing as your gerund, and then your direct object, the piano. And then
Whoa.
Okay.
And that whole phrase, playing the piano, is the subject. So it's not just one word that's the subject, this whole phrase now is the subject. Okay, sir?
All right, and that's why it's all up here above this line, like you're describing. And then has kept grandma's fingers limber.
No, that's good. Okay. So when you see that verb with ing, little alarm bells, it's not a verb, it's a noun. I have to be aware of it. Thank you, sir.
I have participle, not particle, as I thought first. I actually wrote particle, and I had in my mind thinking it was particle. What is participle? Whole different thing. It's a verb that is used as an adjective, meaning that it can describe something.
I just had verbs become nouns. Now I have verbs becoming adjectives?
Yes, it's crazy.
Okay.
So the way we do it, just like we had first, the subject and the verb. But when you're diagramming a participle phrase, what you do is that you write the phrase that is modifying it under. And this is the kind of participle sentence that we're diagramming. So an example would be here. Washing the dishes, Dan was very cautious. So this example particularly, it was hard for me because I was going off how it goes first. Washing the dishes, I was going to put washing and then dishes and all that. But it's the same thing. Who is the subject? That's going to be Dan. And what do you call it? Verb was going to be was. And then you're just going to describe it. Washing the dishes. So that's just what it's modifying, and it's written under. As well as, was very cautious.
So the phrase washing the dishes, I can teach as an as an adjective phrase. It is describing what Dan is doing. It's describing Dan, so it's an adjective.
And if you were to wonder why use this type of sentence, well, why would you put washing the dishes first, rather than Dan was very cautious washing the dishes? A way to do this is because you are creating a context. For example, you said Dan was, rather than washing the dishes, beforehand that washing the dishes is the context of the sentence. So that's why you would use this kind of sentence. And same here, Ashley, waiting for the bus, dropped her mitten. So you got the subject, Ashley, drop, and the mitten. So you write the phrase that's modifying it under, waiting for the bus. I think that's all I have to say.
Okay. A couple more examples of why I might use this. I can go, driving drunk, I was nervous about the cops. let's put driving drunk out front to, again, as you say, establish context. Okay, so that's why I might choose to build a sentence in this way.
Any questions?
All right, over here we have prepositional phrases. First off, I had to look into what was preposition. It's a word of a phrase that connects a noun or pronoun to a verb or adjective in a sentence. So, what stuck up to us was something that connects. Examples of, about, at, before, after, by, etc. So when diagram the sentences, the prepositional phrase is written below the word. It modifies on a line with extra extension. So the object of the preposition is written on a horizontal line and used as preposition phrases. So example, there's one example that got us. The picnic basket was under the tree.
Tell us which the preposition again. Tell us which of those words is the preposition again.
Under. So when I first did it, I thought, oh, picnic basket. And I was like, nope. Because the subject is the basket, It could be the red, the purple, whatever you want to do it. So the subject of the basket was. So let's break it down. The picnic, the preposition, under, the object of prepositions, the tree.
So his preposition creates a whole phrase, and then he hangs it under whatever it's modifying. In this case, it's under parts.
And then the cat on the chair is owned by the context. I was thinking, okay, maybe she has something to do with it, subject? No. The cat and his own. The cat in fun. It was the train arrived at 7 p.m. from St. Louis. And we're like, okay, well, train is the subject, arriving being the verb. And okay, so maybe we can stack these two together. Arrived at 7 from St. Louis. But it's actually 2 because of the preposition. It arrived at 7. From where? You have 2 prepositions that have parallel pairs.
Moving on down.
Clauses, because, and then its own another independent clause right here. So we have they have tests. So we have a test, and connecting the have to tomorrow. We were on how we explain that?
Yeah, so basically, tomorrow, where are they gonna have it? They're gonna have it tomorrow. So it's something that's gonna just modify that verb. So we kind of broke the categories. So the subject, the verb, and the object, and then the words that fall into each of those categories are gonna be under there as well. And then the point of the compound sentence is that it has 2 complete independent clauses. So like you were talking about, you could put a period on both of these and they could be complete thoughts together, but they're 2 complete thoughts, so we're breaking them down into a compound.
We didn't completely define the term independent clause. Can we make an informal definition for it, something like could be its own sentence?
Yeah.
Stands alone?
What we have is expressing a complete thought.
Okay. And I would say that the grammar as well, that I could just punctuate this and it's a sentence. Whereas a dependent clause, it can't stand on its own, it stands provide two things that could be sentences after dividing for context.
And the reason we might do that is that, we can express more of a complete thought and it can be more specific. Provide more detail, so that's the reason we might want to use those sometimes.
What are your examples?
So our other example is,
So my sentence was Kelsey rode the blue merry-go-round horse.
What kinds of sentences are these?
Adjective, diagram and adjective.
Okay. So just hanging adjectives or descriptive verbs, where to hang. Okay, go ahead.
So Kelsey is my subject, my adverb is rode, and horse is my adjective, and the blue merry-go-round describes
What your horse
Go
is
on.
doing.
You're right, sir.
Describes your horse.
The blue merry-go-round describes horse.
no.
So, any number of adjectives can describe any parts of the sentence, and you just hang them beneath. Okay? So, if she had gone, Kelsey rode the blue merry-go-round horse that my brother fell off of last week. Okay, that really should be repaired. Those two that's are also phrases that would hang down beneath. So you can just pile them on, as you guys have seen. Go ahead.
Oh, the next sentence I had was on page 7. It was, did you eat the chocolate cake? So it was a compound, so you, they were talking about you, did you, then did eat, and then Kate broke it down to the chocolate.
And in that case, did you see how it was a question? So the did was out front, but when she goes to diagram it, there's no punctuation anymore. So you is the subject, did eat is the verb phrase. So the did slides, it joins the eat. And then again, she's got some adjectives regarding Kate. What are your other two examples?
Then my sentence was be very careful. So it's the subject meaning you. Go to the left. And then be was the adjective, and then these are the very careful or the two hanging adjectives.
The two adjectives, yeah. So in his case, the you wasn't part of the sentence, at least not in this written form. But when he goes to diagram it, he puts it there in parentheses. And then there's my friend, the verb to be again. Last one.
Okay, my sentence was, we drank the milkshake noisily. We is the subject, drank the verb, and milkshake is the object. Adjective describing how they drank it noisily, and then the as well.
And the way it was written, it wasn't we noisily drank the milkshake. The noisily is actually your last word, right? We drank the milkshake noisily.
Yep.
So even though it's the last word, when he goes to diagram it, it's modifying how we drank. So it runs back itself to near the front of the sentence. Perfect.
So, what predicate means predicate adjective means the adjective describes the subject. Carol is tall. Tall describing Carol. Predicate nominatives is just the same thing, but the adjective has what we call a determiner. Nick is an athlete describing Nick.
Okay, so athlete still describes Nick.
Right.
But athlete gets him into a determiner as well.
Right, is the determiner. So, some examples we have over here. Determiners can also be in the beginning of the sentence for your subject. So, our example here for that would be the determiner for day. Day is the subject. Seemed, which is our verb. Sticky, which is our predicate adjective. Sticky describing the day. Then we come back down here after. I want to explain this one.
After the rain.
After the rain.
It's a prepositional phrase.
So this is a determiner. These two are determiners for rain.
Or what we learned over there while you guys were doing
Yep.
your thing is we'll call them prepositional phrases.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
before I take your question, before we go further, I want to just show everybody. So he showed you how sticky is modifying day, right? Okay, and in not seemed. Okay, sticky is modifying day, and after the rain tells you when it seemed, so that's why it gets hung here. Not sticky after it rained. After it rained, it seemed. You with me there? Okay, what was your question going to be?
Yeah, I know, but I'll spell it. Go ahead.
That's it. So I didn't know that part. I don't know why it went there. So
That's
we never determined.
We did it over there. That's
Okay.
cool. I was just reminding everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Tennis team.
Yep. Sorry. So this is another example. I, subject, am, verb, predicate nominative, because it has a determiner, or what would you call it?
In that case, it's an article.
Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna call it determiner. Member is describing I. So, and then I am a member of the tennis. The is determining tennis determining the team.
Okay. And again, we would call of the tennis team a prepositional phrase.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So, the member modifies I, okay? And we wouldn't put of the tennis team under am. In this case, it goes under member. I'm a member of what? Member of the tennis team. So I hang my prepositional phrase there.
However, can't it be a prepositional or a determiner? Because I noticed when I was going through the dictionary and describing each and every single word, there would be certain words that would be determiners and certain words that would be prepositional.
In this case, I think we should describe A as an article and of the tennis team as a prepositional phrase. We can look at it again.
We had a tough one, we had a tough time on this one.
Okay. You've actually diagrammed them perfectly right.